If you are done with lesson 5, this is your extended option, and it's to make a tessellation using paint. So a tessellation is like making a puzzle piece and having them fit together. Usually they have one piece, but you can have some with 2 pieces. Maybe you recognize this. This is a famous, or a replica somebody made, of a famous tessellation by the artist Escher. And so he has like a bird and a fish, so 2 different shapes, and then it kind of evolves. First they're seeing the bird, and then you see the fish. This one is a rotational tessellation, so the pieces, again, same piece, but they're turned to fit together. So that's what we're going to be making today. This was the first example that I made. I recorded the whole movie and didn't have audio, so I'm redoing this. So this was the one I made in the first movie, so I guess we'll see what the one turns out like in this one. So the first thing we need to do is get to paint. So if you just click on the corner and type in paint, you'll see the program, and then you just click here to open it up. And then what we need to do is we are going to start making our puzzle piece. So I'm going to make a square, so if you click on the rectangle, and then we want it to be a perfect square, so you're going to press Shift first, and then you're going to draw the square. Make it, about the size that you could fit at least like 8 of the pieces, so you don't want to make it too big. If it's much bigger than this, then it's going to be hard to fit all your pieces together. And then we want to fill it, so we need to go to the paint can over here, and we have black selected, so let's start with a plain black square. Then we're going to use this little select tool, and we're going to use the freeform select. Now this is really important. Let me just quick do this and show you. If you don't let's see how it takes this white with. I'm going to hit undo. So if you mess up, just use your undo button. When you do freeform select, you need to make sure that you pick this on the bottom, transparent selection. Then when I cut a piece off, I try to go in through the corner and then out through the other corner. So I'm going to go in here. Now it didn't fit totally exactly here, and anyway, it didn't fit totally exactly right, but if you need to make sure that you slide right across the x-axis, so you need to make sure that it's lining up correctly. And when we're done with our piece, if it doesn't look like anything, you can start over, and because I kind of made this one a little bit too crazy, so it might take a few times to get a piece that you want. And then I did the same thing with the top, so you need to make sure that you slide it down exactly, so you need to try to get it in the exact same spot. I think if it's not totally, it still might fit. So again, see when I slide it down that you need to make sure it lines up. So this piece is a little crazy, so let me see. So then you got to kind of figure out what you want this to be, and if you go to select up here and hit rectangle, you can highlight the piece, and then you can rotate it. Make sure you make it big enough, because if you draw the rectangle like this and you hit rotate, it might cut some of that piece off. So if you ever make a mistake, just make sure you hit undo. So I'm going to make it bigger, and then I'm just going to keep rotating it around till I see what it looks like, and you just be creative. Alright, so when I look at it this way, it looks like a jumping rabbit. Here are the ears and the legs, so I'm going to do that. I've never made a rabbit before. Alright, then you're going to, if you want to just hit the control key and roll, so you can zoom in, and I only did it 1 notch on the roll, otherwise it's going to get kind of too big. Then you use your pencil, and you're going to make some of the features on your shape. So I'm going to make an eye, and again, if you don't kind of like what you do, you can go back. Like I kind of messed up, just hit undo. Maybe let me try to zoom in one more. Okay, so I did 2 notches now. Alright, so I'm going to draw the eye, make it bigger, and then I'm going to draw the eyeball. And then I'm going to just make a little separation so you can see like the ears here. Maybe I'll make a little part. Don't they have a part that's kind of lighter? I don't know. We'll do that. So I made that separate, so I would do a separate color. You know what? I don't want to do that. I'm going to hit undo. I'm just going to leave it like that. Alright, and then this is supposed to be a leg, I guess, or maybe it's the tail. And then I'll make this down here 2 legs. So I'll just draw a separator to kind of make 2 legs. And I'll make a little maybe bunny nose. So it's kind of not looking too much like a bunny, but it's okay. And then I'll do some whiskers like that, and then I'll do this is the hind leg of the bunny. Like that. Alright, well, we're going to call that good. So that's my bunny. So I just kind of did some little lines on here. And then all my bunnies, I want this to be white. So I'm going to use the paint can and make that white. And I want the nose on all of them to be brown. If you don't like the color, if you go to edit colors, you can make it, lighter or darker. So I'm going to do a dark brown. So I want all of them to be that way. Now I'm going to control roll back to normal, and then you're going to use your select tool and draw a box around here, and then you're going to copy and paste it. And I like to always leave one in the corner, because once we start recoloring them and putting them together, if you connect them all, then you can't keep copying them. So now I'm going to draw, and again, I can just paste it again and move it over. So I'm going to paste a few of them, and I'm going to keep them separated. You don't want to put them together, because then when you color them, everything that's that color would they would all be connected, and then they would all change color. So now I'm going to use the paint can, and I'm going to just make my rabbit different colors. And again, if you don't like the colors that are there, you can change them. And I probably wouldn't do white, because then it would match up with the background. We could do a very light color. And so I usually try to make like 6 of them, and then you can start putting them together. So I'm going to try to make one more. Again, it gets kind of filled up. So you can't, like, if I were to accidentally go like this, I would lose him, and I would take this away, see? So undo. So once it gets kind of crowded, sometimes you can use the freeform select too, so you can go around them. I'm going to move him over, and then I'm going to copy him and paste him. Do one more color, and then I'm going to start putting them together. Oh, we need a pink bunny. There we go. Of course. Alright, so then comes the fun part. We get to put them together. So I'm going to draw that, and then fit him in here. And then do this one. Move him over. And here. And then once you have like 6 of them together, then you can actually copy like that whole chunk and then paste it. Alright, so now I have a chunk of 6, so then I'm going to draw a box around the whole thing and copy that. And And sorry, I forgot to tell you, this was a really long movie, so if you've just been watching the whole thing, you're going to have to go back and re-watch it and then pause it and go in steps. So then I just keep putting them all together and then fill it in. And again, the reason I left, like if you were to save it and then come back tomorrow and you didn't have a piece, like if you didn't have this little piece over here, then you wouldn't be, you can't, once they're together, you can't separate them. So that's why I leave that little piece over there. Okay, but if you think you're going to get it finished today, I could keep going, or I can leave it like this, and then you're going to save it. And if you hit regular save, on mine, when I hit the save button, so save, it actually is saving it as a picture, PNG, which is totally fine. Otherwise, I'll change it to a JPEG, JPEG. Let me try it let me leave it the way it is and see if that one works. Okay, and I'll call it rabbit. And then the same place where you had the movie, I have a Google slide that I will have you posted on. So if you go to Google, right here, once you saved it, then you do insert image, choose your image, and then find where you saved it. So I'll go here, and I should have one called rabbit. We'll see if this PNG, I did a JPEG before. Alright, so that seems to work fine, and then I'm just going to crop it. If you want to leave the extra one to show kind of what you started with, otherwise just crop it down. So then we'll share all our tessellations on here, and you can give it a name. So I'm going to call mine Rabbit, or you can be more creative with a name, and then by Mrs. Postma. And then we'll share them here. So then just find an empty slide and put your picture, and then we'll be able to share all of our tessellations on here. If we run out of slides, I can always add some more slides to this. So don't mess with anybody else's tessellation that's already on there. And good luck, good work, and I hope you make a great tessellation.